You right here looking at the SST, the new era Samoan SWAT team. Man, and if you ain't listening to True Deal, man, then you missing out. Samoan Dynasty, out.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with True Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah!
Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for Rated Raw Review, episode 36. Go ahead and yeet, as Joe Tessitore said last night for the September 23rd, 2024 edition of Monday Night Raw, and we are here to review it as only we can. And to do that, nope, once again, the streak continues. Romeo is not here after big talk on our True Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel, watching Monday Night Football last night. My esteemed co-host, who is pretty much our new co-host of the show because he's been on here more than the other usual co-hosts for the past 2 months. He guaranteed he would be here today, but I got a message 10 minutes before we went live that he overslept and didn't set an alarm. He fumbled once again. So I am joined by the expert, the most knowledgeable person over at the Around the Point Network, and the only reliable person on a Tuesday afternoon to review Monday Night Raw, Chase Oliver.
Good morning, everybody. Yep, I called this. This was the easiest bet you could ever cash. Romeo showing up to the Raw rundown at minus 150. Yeah, put $100. You're $95 richer, man. I mean, shit. Oh, easy bet, easy cash.
Yo, imagine you could bet on stuff like that.
Oh,
I would have told you to put $5 on it for me.
I would love if I could bet on IWC props, I'd be so fucking rich. I'd be the richest man. WrestleBoats posting something wrong. Like that would be like my number one most cash bet. Like every single time, it never fails. They'll say something and then it's either completely wrong from the actual story or it's just not real. So I would win so much money.
I mean, gee, just last week, what did they say? The Lucha Bros are definitely signed to AEW, and then Shawn Ross Sapp had to be like, "Oh well, actually, they haven't signed yet." But here we are. Yes, it's me and Chase once again. Thank you so much, Chase, for joining me. And thank you all for joining us live. We appreciate y'all if you're watching us live. We appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by helping the algorithm. Drop the thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you want to text it, you can text it over to them. If you're watching us on Facebook, drop that heart, drop the like, drop a laugh emoji, an angry emoji, however Monday Night Raw made you feel. If you're watching us on Twitter, you can hit the heart button and retweet the video over there. And of course, if you're watching on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, smash the like button or smash the subscribe button and hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. We got a lot of live streams this week. We had Collision Discourse yesterday. We have our NJPW Destruction in Kobe preview tomorrow. We got AE Ramble on Thursday, and we got the True Hill Heat flagship podcast on Saturday. So a lot for you to enjoy. Best time to become a subscriber, and we're only 2,500 subscribers away from 20,000 subscribers for the YouTube channel. Our goal for 2024. So help us out if you haven't already by hitting the subscribe button. And of course, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys. Hear your thoughts on Monday Night Raw last night. A very eventful edition of Monday Night Raw from Ontario, California. And of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, and you want to troll the biggest troll we know, Romeo Anthony Colon, by sending a lot of super chat donations. So he's like, damn it, I missed out on a good one. Hit the $sign. Any dollar amount matters because it goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here. And that means it doesn't go back to Romeo because you don't see him on screen with us here. But we already got in the chat with us today. We got Paula B, who says, laugh my ass off. The cutout on the thumbnail makes it look like Jey lost a piece of his pants. Well, maybe he did. He got a little excited. Got a little excited after winning the big one. Finally proclaimed. He's been main event Jey Uso for the better part of 4 years, and he finally proved himself as a main eventer.
Happy for the guy. Yeet. As we tweet now, Rikishi probably already posted that he's upset that his son hasn't done anything with the IC title, even though he just won it. That's the one thing I forgot to tweet. I had a picture of a Rikishi podcast, and it was going to be like, I was going to tweet Rikishi next week. They're already fucking up with Jey. He should be defending the belt, but instead, he's acting like a fool on TV. I just don't like it. I had a tweet ready, but totally forgot to do it. So I'll probably do it next Monday.
He's like, congratulations to my son, but it should happen on PLE. I've seen some fans even saying that nonsense. We got Eric Isaac in the chat who says, hey, THH fam, the Monster Brawn War continues. We got Dom's gone back to the cage, Sky Pirates flying high, and all hail Jey Uso, Yeetus, champion of them all. Indeed. Safet says, happy birthday to Stephanie McMahon. Netflix is cruel for dropping a Vince McMahon documentary the day after her birthday.
Man, you know Vince is spooked about this, Doc, when you had to call Big Brother Ari. Ari, is there any way? Can you talk to your buddy Bill Simmons and see if he can pull this doc? Can we buy it off of them?
You buy that from him? Yeah, can we buy that from him? We got Bell who says, hey guys, was not expecting Jey winning the IC title last night. I don't think any of us were, to be honest. Me and Chase were, definitely.
No. We were not.
We got our good brother Will Chisholm in the chat. Thanks for joining us today, Will. He says, funny how Jey has a title and Cody has a title, but Roman, no title. My, oh my, how things have changed.
I'm not laughing. That's not funny. That is a disgrace to this company. That is the World Wrestling Entertainment Incorporated. I'm TKO Branding. What are we doing? Your biggest draw? No title? Just make up a belt for him. Just give him the Snoop Dogg Golden title. That's good enough. We don't need. He's his own belt. He's Roman Reigns.
He needs his Ulafala. That's his title.
Technically, we can be technical here. Maybe he's still the Universal Champion somehow. I'm just gonna say it. Maybe he's still the Universal Champion. It was for the undisputed WWE Championship, not the undisputed WWE Universal Championship.
They just smoothly changed the name. They just dropped Universal from the name when Cody ran it.
They only kept it for Roman so he could keep his day streak.
Exactly. Doug Barry says, what's good, THH fam? Chase is the MVP and Romeo is the LVP. LOL. I agree. We do have a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Vala B, showing his support to Rated Raw Review. He says Rikishi was talking so much mad shit on podcasts, which was fucking up family politics and cookouts, that Paul had to book Jey to win the IC title. See, this is what I say all the time. I say we say stuff so they listen and they get it done, and that's what Rikishi did on his podcast. He said it enough times, and he pressured Triple H to make the right choice.
Yeah, Jay's on his own. He doesn't have any of the other Samoans politicking on SmackDown. He needs all the help he can get. So Rikishi was just looking. What a good father. You know, we got on LeVar Ball's case with the Ball kids. Well, why are we getting on Rikishi's case? Fuck, he's still an idiot, but still, good on Rikishi.
LeVar Ball, yeah. That wasn't the way. This is the way.
Yeah.
This is the way. If you got to follow Rikishi's example, LeVar Ball, maybe your kids would be better off right now than they are.
Man, I just want Lonzo to play basketball again. I still like Lonzo. I paid $50 to see this idiot play in high school. I went to his high school game, and it was like sold out. And they're like, yeah, $50 if you want to just stand in the corner. And I was like, sure. I want to see this kid play basketball. So.
Gotta love it. And yes, Valabi, I actually wrote an article. I aggregated the article on Rikishi saying that Jacob Fatu is being pushed too fast. I was like, what is wrong with this guy? This guy is never happy with how they're booking his family. He's just never happy. We also got Will Chisholm who says, Chase, you sound like the AEW fan who just AEW the AEW DG news.
Wait,
what AEW? What happened with Daniel Garcia? Let me look this up. Or if you're gonna tell me in the chat, go ahead. What happened with?
Please tell me he resigned. I don't want to see him on NXT. He's not needed.
He's going to NXT, y'all.
Yeah,
no, I didn't
I was like, oh, really? I was like, damn. All right, good for him. You know, do what he needs to do. Hey, I'm cool with whatever he wants to do. I'm with everyone else.
Imagine that's what I pulled up.
I haven't seen anything about Daniel Garcia.
I don't see anything on my timeline scrolling through right now. Only thing I did see is Mercedes Moné with the best quote ever. Says she's going to grab a blunt and some wine and watch Netflix when Mr. McMahon documentary releases.
I think everyone should be doing that. I'm going to be seated at 9 a.m. Not even 9 a.m. At 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, clicking that Netflix button. I might pull an all-nighter watching this because I got to see it. I had a friend who already test screened it, and he told me he's not a wrestling fan. He does not know anything about wrestling. He just does stuff for Netflix. He told me the first episode is like the romance, and then every other episode after that, it's just he don't watch. So he's like, Chase, you won't be saying it, but I was saying, oh my fucking God, after almost every episode with this guy. And I was just like, damn, really? He's like, yeah, because he knows the big wrestlers, like he knows Rock and Undertaker and stuff, but he doesn't watch. He just was like, Netflix said, hey, can you test screen this for us? And he said, sure. And he was like, I had to text you about this. Normally he doesn't text me about anything he test screens. So, and I love those murder documentaries. So he knows I love those too. So
Yeah, my missus watches a lot of those murder documentaries
Ugh.
herself, so I don't get it.
Mm.
So he said Uncle Dave said something. So the only thing I say is that I see is Wrestle Talk aggregated what Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio. Said Dave Meltzer says AEW's confidence in re-signing Daniel Garcia isn't as strong as it once was amid speculation of a potential WWE move. He says, I don't think that they want to put him on TV until he makes the commitment. I would
Makes
say
sense.
that the surety or the strong confidence that he was signing, I wouldn't say it's as strong, but I wouldn't say he's leaving either. But it's not as strong as it was a month ago. He may leave. If they believe someone's not going to sign, and that's why a lot of people you don't see, there's a reason that you don't, because the belief is that when their contracts are up, they're going to go. And if that's the case, then Tony's just not going to put them on TV.
Thank God. What I got confirmation on this is that Wardlow, you'll be free soon, my friend. Thank fucking God. Wardlow. I don't care about Daniel Garcia. Sure. Look, Daniel Garcia, he has a big conundrum. He either gets a lot of money or he gets to go to that performance center with all those beautiful women. It's a big conundrum.
Yes.
I can understand that. Do you want the money or do you want, let's just face it. I mean, there's a lot of options there. I mean, it's a tough decision, bud. But thank God, Wardlow, I'm happy for you, bud. You're free. You're free, my friend.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. All right, let's talk about last night's Monday Night Raw. I'll be honest, I didn't get anything from what Dave Meltzer said. Dave Meltzer talks out of both sides of his mouth.
It's the usual mess report. It could happen, but it might not happen, but it's not really confirmed, but it is confirmed, but I'm not saying it's confirmed. I'm just going with my gut feeling, and then I'll bring up a thing that Tony has told me in the past, and then it's just like, okay, Meltzer, can you just tell us yes or no, like how you feel? Just say this. I am at 50% Daniel Garcia will resign with AEW. It's not as strong as the 90% of last month. There you go. All you have to say. But you have to ramble.
That's all you had to say. He just loves to ramble. But Raw opened with a shot of fans lining up for merchandise. We see Bron Breakker, Jey Uso, and Drew McIntyre arriving at the arena earlier today. Then we see Dominic Mysterio and the Women's World Champion Liv Morgan showing up in the Lucha Lowrider, where you can get at stores today at Mattel.com. But
man, you know that's a toy.
They did. They announced it on the show that it's a toy.
Oh.
As Morgan and Dom enter through the arena's loading dock, we suddenly get like a big burst of human beings crossing across the screen as Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman are crashed through a nearby merchandise stand, and officials scrambled in after them. I love that this. I don't know why there's a merch stand by the loading dock. That doesn't mean
Right?
It doesn't look too accessible, but I love that. I love the interconnectedness of the backstage area that has become Monday Night Raw. It's very much like this only on Raw. We don't get much of this on SmackDown, but I love how this goes down on Monday Night Raw. Morgan and Dom, they do the one shot as they make their entrance into the arena. Both are booed by the fans. Morgan was booed as she gladly took a victory lap around the ring. When she gets in the ring and on the mic, she says that she took the victory lap because her revenge tour was going according to plan. She says that she took everything from Rhea Ripley, just like she promised she would. The Women's World Title, the Judgment Day, and the sexiest man in the world, Dominic Mysterio, were all hers. This brings out Rhea Ripley to a nice pop from the crowd in Ontario. She told Morgan to shut up as Rhea entered the ring to big Rhea chants, and she assured Morgan that she wouldn't hit her, but she had something to tell her. Dom tried to stand up to Rhea, and she was like, "Oh, someone grew some cojones," but she told him to get out of her face before she makes him. Morgan said that Dom might still be with her if she showed him half as much attention as she has to Damian Priest. Morgan figured Rhea Ripley was out here to announce that the fact that she has bashed up her little knee all these weeks would basically make her not medically cleared for their title match at Bad Blood. Morgan said that Ripley wasn't getting out of their matchup, though. She says that Morgan wasn't bigger or stronger than Ripley, but she would win because she was smarter. But Rhea had a plan of her own. She announced that she was fully medically cleared. She didn't even sell the knee coming down the to the ring this week. She says not only that though, but Dom would be exactly where he belongs come Bad Blood, because he has been the reason why Liv Morgan has won the women's world title, has successfully defended it all these months, and now he's going to be exactly where he belongs, behind bars. Dom immediately says, I can't go back there. I can't go back. He has PTSD from being in jail for one night. And she announces that Dom would be locked in a shark cage hanging above the ring come Bad Blood and their women's world title match. Rhea planned on winning back the one thing she never lost. And she says, and oh yeah, one more thing, by the way, Liv, I lied. And headbutts Liv right in the chin. Liv sells it like she's just been shot in the chin as Rhea Ripley stands tall, getting the better of Liv and Dirty Dom this week, as it will be Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan for the WWE Women's World Championship on October 5th at Bad Blood, with Dominic Mysterio hanging above the ring in a shark cage. What did you think about this opening segment here? I thought everybody played their role well. Nothing new outside of the stipulation with Dom hanging above the ring. But I will say this segment gave me more confidence that I think that Rhea possibly will win back the title at Bad Blood.
Yeah, no, I think that's all the segment did, was just confirming that, all right, Dom's in the shark cage. He's going to do something goofy inside of the cage. I mean, I don't understand why would you want the person hanging up on the ring? Like, wouldn't you want them outside of the ring where they can't get involved in the match at all? Like, yeah, no, Rhea's for sure losing now. But yeah, good segment, good mic work. Ontario crowd was hot for it. That's all that really matters.
I don't think Rhea's gonna lose now at Bad Blood, because I was under the understanding that probably at Bad Blood neither Terra Twins or Judgment Day were gonna get a sweep with the two matches that they have planned with Damian versus Finn. And I thought about it and I was like thinking before this show, I was like, Finn needs to win over Damian a lot more than Liv needs another win over Rhea. So I was like, you have Finn beat Damian, but I was like, well, that means Rhea should beat Liv. And having the fact that Dom is going to be hanging above the ring in a shark cage, he's going to be kind of null and void unless he finds some baby oil like Enzo Amore did all those years ago. He's going to be hanging above the ring. He's going to be a non-factor. So I believe that Rhea Ripley is going to regain the title.
Right now, Rhea's at plus 500, Liv Morgan at minus 900. I'll pay attention to those odds next week. By the way, stupidly, Bet Online had Cody Rhodes and Roman at plus 225 last week. I jumped on that, and now they're minus 1500. Now they're minus 1500. Can't refund that bet, buddy.
After the music video, the Hype Williams music video that they did on Friday Night
The storm is gone. Beautiful. Yeah, I could see Rhea winning for sure. It's just like I saw some people like they were saying, oh, maybe Raquel comes back. We don't need another woman in the Judgment Day. Liv has to be the only woman in the Judgment Day. And Liv doesn't need two heaters. Like, she's proven enough that Dom's the perfect heater. Like, you don't want to steal Latino heat from Dom Mysterio. So I think Dom's gonna find some goopy way. Triple H. He's probably watching all the old footage, trying to find a weapon that Dom used to help Rhea in the past, and Dom's gonna drop it right into the middle of the ring, brass knuckles, a wrench, who knows, whatever he can fit in those pants. So there's gonna be some shenanigans. I could see either one winning. I would prefer Liv to still be champion because like who's going to beat Rhea if she wins it again? Like no one's going to beat her. And with Liv, someone can beat her.
But with Liv, there's been no women's world title division. Like
Yeah,
it's just been stuck in this vortex of Rhea versus Liv. At least when Rhea, even when she was the dominant champion of the brand, she would at least have a challenger of the month every month. It seemed last year. Like with Liv, it was Zelina Vega when Rhea wasn't around, and then it's just been stuck in the Judgment Day Terror Twins feud ever since then.
Who's a baby? They haven't built up any baby faces to face Liv right now.
The best ones would be Io Sky or Bianca Belair, but they're in the tag team division.
Oh no, we got our person, Natalia. She's for sure the filler feud until January. She came back and beat Pew Fusion Collective, a huge win. SP3. I don't know if you know.
She is on a winning streak. She's won 2 matches.
Yeah, exactly. That's a lot. That's a lot in WWE. 2 matches, like it's your world title.
A lot in AEW. Ricochet won 2 matches, and he's getting a shot at the international title.
Hey man, those 2 matches. He had to survive Sammy Swagger and Beast Mortos. Those are 2 big wins. Sammy Swagger, he could injure you at any moment. Your career could be over. So who knows? I'm praying for Okada really hard. Like Tuesday, please tonight, guys. Please pray for Okada because the show's being taped on Wednesday. Please pray that Sammy doesn't do anything. Okada. I know that you're looking at this match as like, oh, this is Sammy Guevara. No, your awareness needs to be high. Who knows what this idiot will do in the ring? Like this guy is uncontrolled chaos. Is Sammy Guevara?
We got Bell who says, can you let me know on Saturday if it's okay to watch because my mental isn't okay as it is right now due to some stuff going on, and I don't want to get triggered to think of shit from my past. Don't worry, I got ya. I think I might be doing since I think they're premiering all the episodes of the Vince McMahon documentary on Wednesday, so it's probably not like feasible or for us to do each episode as a review. If it was like one a week, then we could do 1 episode at a time. But I think I'm gonna watch the whole thing throughout the starting on Wednesday and throughout this week, and probably next week either Wednesday or Friday, because those are usually days that we have free on the channel. I'm doing a Vince McMahon documentary, or maybe even Sunday, maybe a Vince McMahon documentary review. Mr. McMahon, the documentary review.
If you have room for that, SP3, I would love to be there. I would love to be on that one. If
I'm calling you for sure.
If I'm not doing it Sunday, most likely football. But if it's on the Wednesday or the Thursday, I'll be Friday. I'll be there. That'd be fucking hilarious to talk about.
I'm definitely going to do, because us talking about Vince McMahon seems to be some of our highest viewed editions of True Hill Heat. So yeah, we're going to definitely talk about the documentary as its own separate video reviewing everything. But I will give you the update, Bell, on however far I am on come Saturday on the flagship. I'll let you know if it's something worth watching for everyone, or which episodes what episodes you can watch. Eric Isaac says, welcome back home to the Slammer, Dirty Dom. Indeed, he's going to be in that shark cage. You hate to see when someone goes back to jail, We need to call Kim Kardashian to get him out.
I hope WWE films like a scared straight of Dom trying to go into the shark cage. He acts like it's like the biggest scene of all time. That'd be great. You're like, I know there's no one else, but this just brings back so much trauma when little Chico was challenging me inside of what's that where they put you in containment before you actually go into the cell. I don't know the jail terms. I'm white. obviously jail has not been something for me. I've never experienced life behind the cold hard bars, so I don't know what that is. The only time I'll go to jail is a tax evasion.
Since you like the Netflix true crime documentaries, but have you seen the Menendez series that they have on there?
No, I gotta watch that. That's on my watch list. I'm currently rewatching.
I watched the first episode, which was I was blown away by, because I've always like vaguely heard of the Menendez brothers. I never learned like exactly what happened, because I was like 1 year old when it happened, because it happened in 1989. But like seeing that first episode of what they actually did, I was like, holy shit, this is interesting.
Yeah.
And
no,
now and then my missus tells me the other day that Kim Kardashian is trying to get them out of jail.
She's a
Like,
crazy one.
I was like, only in America. Only in America. And yes, Chuck Berry says, hard times in that holding cell.
Yeah, dude. Little Chico was probably asking, hey, what you in here for, bro? Come on, cuz. Let me know.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Good shout, Safet. He says, how can you hang a shark cage and the Hell in a Cell in the same arena?
Oh, man. Yeah, that's... I didn't think of... Yeah, that
I
giant
didn't think of that either. I was like, yeah, that's it. Well, I mean, you do, I guess, like the thing. I don't know. That's good shout.
If I'm Drew or Punk, I am saying you better remove that fucking shark cage by the time we wrestle, because I would be afraid that shark cage might fall in the middle of the ring. Like, Roman's making sure that thing's not in the ring when he's in there. He's like, no, make sure that's gone. If that's not gone, then I'm gone, and he's leaving.
We also got Bell who says, after Dom tells everybody that they were trying to hang him above the ring for Ray versus Eddie, he made it. Yep, he did. He did say that in an interview. They were going to put him above the ring. Now he actually is. But our opening contest for the show, it saw Sami Zayn going one-on-one with Ludwig Kaiser. Kaiser had the advantage as we went to commercial break as they fought on the outside. Sami went up on top of the barricade and Kaiser pushes him off, so he goes like bouncing off of Samantha Irvin's leather chair in a nice spot. When we come back from commercial break, Zayn fought back. He fights out of the top rope when Kaiser went for a superplex, and he winds up hitting a sunset flip powerbomb for a 2. Zayn hits the exploder and then goes for the haluva kick, but Kaiser is able to catch him with a big enziguri right to the face and gets a near fall. Kaiser slips out of the ring and then drives Zayn into the steel steps, and he hits his run around the ring drop kick, hitting Sami's head against the steel steps. He almost gets the count out victory, but Sami is able to slip back in at the count of 9. Zayn barely beats the referee count. Kaiser hammers away at him and then winds up going for his deadfall DDT, but Sami Zayn is able to fight back. He hits a big German suplex and then finally hits the haluva kick for the 1-2-3. Sami Zayn picks up a big win in his bid to become the number 1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. Post-match, the World Heavyweight Champion himself, the Ring General, Gunther, comes down in his ring gear. He marches out looking very determined. He says that Sami has been asking him for a title match all these weeks, and he says that right here, right now in Ontario, California, if you want me to give Sami his world title match, well, the answer is very simple. No. He chuckles and then walks off of the apron. Sami is once again pissed at Gunther's refusal to give him a title match. Man, Gunther is hilarious. Gunther is such a troll of a heel, despite being one of the best wrestlers and most intimidating, dominant champions that we've seen in quite some time. He's also just a troll. The thing with Bret Hart and then this shit here with Sami, great stuff. What did you think?
Yeah, good opener. And then I love the post-match more. Gunther, it looked like he was about to, like, oh, man, this piece of shit, he's going to take on Sami after he just had a match. And then once he saw Sami was getting up and looked raring to go, he's like, no, I'm good, dog. I don't want to wrestle you. Like, this is Ontario. No, thank you. You're not getting this. Almost like Romeo for this show. Hey, I'm going to be there, SP3. I'm going to be there. Nope, not showing up. But yeah, no,
this was a very good opener. I agree with you there. Yeah.
I thought it was just effective. I think now they're probably saving this for Saudi. I feel like the Saudi prince was like, hey, I want Gunther and Sami. And WWE is happy to do that. They like Sami out there. Gunther is going to do well out there. It will be a good 30-minute match at 10 in the morning. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, and it seems like Triple H is sticking to his guns, sticking to his 5-match card, this 5-match merchant.
Yep. He loves his 5 matches. 6 matches hurts his head. SP3. We can't do more than 6. It's too much.
Everybody was like, "Oh, he's gonna do 6 matches. It's gonna be a big pay-per-view." And then he's like, "No, you know what? I'm gonna save Sammy and Gunther for Crown Jewel."
Yeah.
But we get the New Day backstage following their loss to the Judgment Day last week for the World Tag Team Championships. You get Kofi Kingston approaching Xavier Woods in the back. Woods was happy to see him and took responsibility for last week. Kingston told him that it was water under the bridge, and they agreed that it was time to get the New Day back on track as they approach their 10th anniversary. Kingston went into the archives and found boxes of bootios. He even found Francesca, the trombone. The crowd actually cheered for Francesca as well as the bootios. Wood said that all that stuff was fine when they were on top. He says you can pretty much do anything when you're the champions, but they haven't been champions in 3 years. Kingston understood and said that it didn't make sense to go backwards. You're right. He admitted to not making the great decisions lately, and Wood says, "You said it, I didn't." Kingston said Woods should call the shots and be the quarterback over the next few weeks. They shook hands on it and seemed like the New Day were on the same page once again when American Made stepped up and showed up, confronting them, laughing at them for their recent losses. Chad Gable called them has-beens who were trying to reignite a dead spark. He was like, "I've been trying to tell you guys how to be champions and just do the opposite of what these guys are doing." Kingston acts like, he's like, "Oh, wait, look, it's Uncle Howdy." And Gable turns around and acts like he's scared. They freaked out until they realized no one was behind them. That was pretty funny. Gable says that they're done with the Wyatts and wanted real competition, and that wasn't them. But Wood says challenges them to a tag team match. He says, if I'm the quarterback, if I'm running things, if I'm calling the shots, I want to face American Made tonight. And Gable agreed. With Wood's back turn, some guy showed up behind them with a unicorn as well as a plate full of pancake. But Kingston quickly and discreetly motions to him like, no, not the right time. Woods didn't notice, but the crowd popped for that. That was great time. Great time. I love this backstage segment. Like Woods and Kofi are playing this story up so well right now. It's one of my favorite stories going on Monday Night Raw.
Woods is especially great. Kofi being like that bad friend. He's trying to like, hey man, remember when we were in high school? Remember your football jersey? Hey, remember that play? You threw it to me in the end zone. Like that's the type of shit Kofi's trying to do right now. And that segment was great, but that dude when he came in the unicorn helmet and the pancakes, I was dying. I thought that shit was so funny. Like, yeah, no, Woods. Honestly, he this might be a spoiler. I think he's MVP. He literally stole the show from me tonight with his acting. This was the start of what was a good episode for Xavier Woods on Monday Night Raw. But that unicorn pancake guy, that shit had me dead. I was just like Kofi, come on, man. Like you've been a bad friend, and it's like you're gonna sit here and try to re-earn the trust. Like, come on.
Kofi, he's trying. At least he's trying. At least he can admit when he's wrong. So Kofi had a better week than last week, where I really felt like he was just bad at communicating with his friend and his partner. But next up, we get Jey Uso and Bron Breakker. Really good video package. Like the hype for the main event on this show was really well done because they've been building this matchup for over the past month, and like having a video package early on in the show, hearing from both guys backstage before their matchup, this made this feel like a PLE style matchup, a PLE main event on standard TV. What did you think about the video package here?
Oh, I absolutely loved it. And then after I saw this, I said, yeah, Jay's for sure winning. He's for sure winning now because like that video package.
They did play that up of 6 tries, 6 times he's gone. Yeah. I was like, y'all gonna add a 7th? Nah, this was the first indication that I got. I was like, Jay might win this tonight.
Yeah, because there's certain video pack the songs canceled because of the artist, but I called them the Jeff Hardy rooftop video packages where you just showcase the wrestler doing cool stuff. and you want him to win, but you're not saying in the video package he could win. You're just showing cool stuff. And they'll do this a couple times. They did it with Christian against Alberto Del Rio, like at SummerSlam 2014 or something, where they did the same thing. They do these, but when they don't have a story behind them, it's just showing highlights of them. Then you know it's like, oh, okay, they just want you to like this guy, but he's not winning. This video package was like, yeah, Jey, he's for sure winning this match. Like I was like, if he loses, like all this hype for Jey Uso, that would be kind of weird, but. You know, WWE, they love doing weird stuff. So I was ready for anything, but that video package really made me say, yeah, I think Jey Uso's winning.
Yeah. When I thought it was supposed to get like 3 segments as well, I was like, oh no, I don't know. This makes me think that Jey might win this one. But the video package was like, okay, now I really feel like he's gonna win. Stage, we get Raw General Manager Adam Pearce meeting up with Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio about the shark cage. Dom telling him that he can't go back. He tells them that Dom was going in the cage and that was official. And she's like, I guess you don't care about Rhea headbutting me. Pierce left though. Carlito and JD McDonough show up. Carlito assured Liv that he would beat Dragon Lee tonight. And Morgan said that Dom and McDonough would be backstage with him. Notice during that segment with JD and Carlito and them, in the background was a Lily the doll.
No.
Lily the doll, the old doll of Alexa Bliss. So heard some people online saying it. Maybe the Wyatt Six will be targeting the Judgment Day next because they turned on their family.
That'll be a good feud.
Yeah, but they continued backstage, walking to the ring for Carlito's match with Dragon Lee when JD McDonough noticed Ilya Dragunov, who knew McDonough would do nothing to him without Finn Balor by his side. McDonough says that Balor's not here this week, and Dragunov was lucky that they were busy. Dragunov told them to keep walking as Carlito told Dragunov, nice tie. This led to what? Go ahead.
Having a word a tie.
Exactly. That's what made it. I was like, Carlito, you're the best. You're the best. Carlito came down to the ring for his matchup with the LWO's Dragon Lee. He had Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough in his corner, while Dragon Lee had Zelina Vega, Cruz del Toro, and Joaquin Wilde in his corner. Dragon Lee early on hits a crazy looking dive to the outside. He applies a schoolboy after a distraction, but the distraction is also by the Judgment Day as they take out Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde on the outside. But then after Dragon Lee takes care of JD, we get Rey Mysterio returning. He takes out his son with a big plancha on a big like sit down senton onto Dominic Mysterio on the floor, while Dragon Lee then hits Operation Dragon for the 1-2-3. This was Dragon Lee's first TV win since June and his first singles win since March.
Jesus.
Dragon Lee picks up the victory here. LWO finally getting a little bit of momentum here. What did you think about this matchup? It was barely a matchup, to be honest with you. Went 2 minutes, 14 seconds, but Dragon Lee getting the win. It's about damn time. I had my good friend Jimmy McArea message me during this matchup, and he says, like, the Judgment Day sure are a jobber group without Finn Balor. And I was like, they're a jobber group with Finn Balor, because then I looked up the information about Dragon Lee not getting a win since singles win since March. Then I looked up Finn Balor. He hasn't got a singles win since June. So, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, because that Rey Mysterio match, he lost by DQ. It was just a showcase for Dragon Lee. I was more insulted by the 2K ratings. They had Dragon Lee at a 77, and somehow Carlito's an 80? How the fuck is Carlito an 80? Like, what has he done? What does this guy even do to get an 8? I want to know Carlito's last single win. I guess it was against Dragon Lee in like June or something. Yeah. But Jesus, how's he an 80? He doesn't do anything. He hasn't won anything. What are we factoring in? He came out and got a huge pop in Puerto Rico. Like, how did he get an 80 overall and Dragon Lee's a 77? Like, That was my biggest complaint. I could not believe the developers of 2K. Like, what ratings are they putting on there, man?
It's a nostalgia boost. He got a nostalgia boost.
Oh, he told Jesus to kill John Cena one night, and all of a sudden he's 80 overall. Okay.
Hey, 80 for eating apples. So
no, okay, there we go. I'm sure that's very useful.
Our finisher says 77, and they were hyping it up like it was good.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like Joe Tessitore was all like, and I cannot wait. Get behind the sticks, play as Dragon Lee, 77 overall. Then they show Carlito, he's an 80. How the fuck are you hyped up to play with the 77 overall? This ain't Madden. You can't just raise the ratings. Like what?
Here we are. Backstage, we get Karrion Kross approaches The Miz as he warmed up for his matchup against Bronson Reed. Basically, as Kross playing some mind games here, saying that everybody in the back thinks that he's bitten off a little more than he could chew against Bronson Reed, and talking about how Braun Strowman says that he's not a monster, so he can't deal with the monster that is Reed. Miz says, what are you trying to get at? Why are you been doing this over the weeks? He was like, I believe in you. I think that you're a former world champion. I think that you can handle Bronson Reed. Miz says, okay, and walks off, and Kross makes the look like, He's like the kid that snitches, like Randall from Recess.
Recess, yeah. No, he's pushing my used car salesman agenda. This is like what a used car salesman would be doing. Hey, man, you definitely want this 2005 Toyota. I know it has 100,000 miles. It's probably on its last legs, but it can still go. It still has the horsepower. It can still do all the jobs that you need. Like, Jesus Christ, this guy.
This proceeded to, after this, to have the weirdest start to a second hour of Raw I've seen in quite some time. Like I was like, I'm used to the second hour of Raw starting with a one of the big matches on the show or a big promo segment. No, this was weird. First, we started off with the Netflix staff are in the front row. They give them a little shout out. Then we go backstage to Sheamus, who's interviewed by Kathy Kelly, and he kept referring to Pete Dunne as Butch. He says that he has a score to settle, and as his ancestors always said, there was nothing more dangerous than an Irishman with a score to settle. Any thoughts on what Sheamus had to say?
Well, Conor McGregor's been saying that for years, and he still hasn't fought. He hasn't had a win since the Obama administration, so yeah. I don't know. I'm not really that scared of the Irish no more.
Good point. Then we got The Miz making his entrance as he goes one-on-one with Bronson Reed. I was just like, wait, we got The Miz? Like, this is making me turn the channel early. I thought we were only an hour into the show. I was like, Miz is one of the channel changers for me. But
yeah.
Hey, they did satisfy me with this segment because as Bronson Reed is making his entrance, out of nowhere comes Braun Strowman leaping off of a damn barricade. He knocks down Reed during his entrance. Miz gets into Strowman's face as Reed knocks both of them down with a tope suicida to the outside. Security runs down as Bronson Reed stacks two guys up on each other across the ring from Braun Strowman being held by security, and then hits a tsunami on both guys. The guy on the bottom got absolutely crushed. Strowman gave two guards a double choke slam. They tease a big superplex spot, perhaps to have a ring-breaking spot on this show, but security got in the way. Dozens of security kept running out, kept getting killed by both men as Strowman started taking out multiple securities on his own. As Reed is being held by security on the outside, Braun Strowman goes to the top rope like he's about to do a dive to the outside, and then Reed finally decides, he's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm over this. I'm out. And he walks away. We then get the announcement by Adam Pearce backstage. He says that he's had enough of the destruction between the two men, the chaos that they've been causing. So he wanted things to stop between them and knew a regular match wouldn't end it. So he announced a last monster standing matchup. And I literally called this. On WrestleTalk's website. Literally called this to Jimmy Macaram watching the show live. I was like, man, I'm good. I'm Negro Dominus out here in these streets. I called it. I was like, they're gonna do a last monster standing. I was like, you could have had this to Bad Blood. Like, what are we doing? This is another match that would have been good at Bad Blood. But we did get later on in the show big video package, which was basically Godzilla versus King Kong with Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed ahead of. I was like, damn, these dudes work fast. Like they knew that Pierce was gonna announce a last monster standing matchup, so they already had these graphics made up. Man, they're good. They did the whole Godzilla versus King Kong and the last monster standing. So it's official. Next week, this needs to be the main event of the show. Last monster standing, Big Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman. This has been one of my favorite feuds all Monday Night Raw. My favorite story is probably the New Day breakup or reuniting story, whichever way they go with it. But my favorite feud over the last couple of weeks has been Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed. What do you think about the announcement? What did you think about this week's Brawl?
This is the shit I live for. I cannot wait for this. This has been great. The Brawl was great. I knew they weren't going to let Strowman jump off the top rope. I mean, that man jumping off the top rope on all those security, he might kill that right there. Those guys are just extras. They might file for workers' comp if they get injured there, but. Yeah, no, I love the execution of this, and I'm with you. Should have been on the PLE, but as we know, Triple H, five matches is good enough for him. He doesn't want to go anything above that. You know, Roman Reigns needs his 30-minute epic, so he's crunching on time here with that. But my friend, he actually texted me. He said it's a crazy idea. I wasn't big on it, but I slept on it. I said, you know what, I wouldn't mind it. He said I would love if this kicked off the show, and in the whole night, it's just this big brawl. And we don't have a winner until the end of the night. And then Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed have it. It's 3 hours still, right? They're not the 2 hour yet. Is that the 2 hour Raw?
No, next week is the last 3 hour Raw.
Yeah, and he says they have a 3 hour epic, and it's just throughout the whole night. We just see them like through the parking lot killing each other. And I said, you know what? I said I would love if it's just a match, but if they could pull it off, and especially because Monday Night Football next week, no one's watching the Titans versus the Dolphins. That's fucking horrible. And the other Monday night.
So we have a chance Romeo will show up.
Oh, these Monday night games are horrible next week. They're freaking terrible. He didn't even seem excited talking about them. So he better show up. But yeah, I actually like the idea. I would be cool if they try to find a way to expand this for 3 hours where they kick it off, do a 10-minute thing, and then throughout the night we just see them still brawling and they're still wrestling, and then the last 20 minutes they do it in the ring, and that's where we get Bronson Reed going over and the start of the year of the monster, the year of the typhoon or the tsunami. Bronson Reed 2025. Better make him world champion. Triple H. You don't have many options.
He better set the record for the Royal Rumble next year.
Oh, he has to. Yes,
I agree. I think you said that a couple of weeks ago. I agree with it now. Will Chisholm says, when is Triple H going to cut you the check? LOL. I need Triple H and Tony Khan to start sending me my checks in the mail. He says,
Tony Khan, he steals so much from AEW Rambo. It's fucking ridiculous.
He says, I think it's not on Bad Blood because they break in the ring next week. Oh, they're definitely doing it. That's why I think it should be the main event.
Oh, yeah.
They teased it here because they're gonna do it next week in the last Monster Standing. That's the end of the matchup. They do the big superplex, break in the ring spot, and Reed just rolls out of the ring onto his feet to win the matchup.
They need to do the tractor spot from SummerSlam. That was one of my favorite spots for the Roman Reigns and Brock. I was there live. The tractor blocked the most of the match for me, so I was watching on the big screen at the end. But I fucking love that shit live. That shit was crazy.
Oh man, that's probably up there with the WrestleMania 31 for the best Roman versus Brock match.
Oh, easily,
for sure. And we got Tafed who says Braun and Bronson Reed brawl was really great. I thought it was really good this week. Not as great as last week. Last week was a little bit wilder than this week. This was a little bit more tame just to set up the last Monster Standing matchup next week, where I think they're going to go ham.
Yeah, that match is going to be fucking. It's just going to have no psychology, nothing. It's just two big guys, like King Kong and Godzilla. I hate when people watch those movies. Oh, it's just monsters fighting. That's what these movies are. They're just what plot do you need from Kong versus Godzilla? Like, oh well, I want to know just find a reason to get them to fight each other. That's it. That's the whole point of the fucking movie. I don't care about there's this deaf girl and she can talk to King Kong. Like, who cares? I just need King Kong and Godzilla fighting each other. By the way, Godzilla won both those fights. Don't want to argue it with anyone. Godzilla carried Kong too in the last movie. Kong needed help. Called Godzilla's ass, didn't he? Godzilla was just chilling in his Rome. In Rome, he was just sleeping, having a good time.
We see Mark Sanchez, former Jets quarterback, in the front row. We also got Adam Jones, who is the Tool guitarist and not the baseball player. We're shown at ringside as well. And then we get former world heavyweight champion Drew McIntyre, who looks serious after hearing the words from CM Punk last week. McIntyre starts his promo and he repeats Punk's final words from his promo last week when he said that he was prepared for this to end. He wanted the end of CM Punk. He says he's prepared for the end of CM Punk if you're prepared for the end of Drew McIntyre. He says that he's been thinking about Punk's words and the look in his eyes all week. He knew Punk meant every word he said. For once, Punk was real. Punk was ready to sacrifice it all for this to end, and so was McIntyre. McIntyre was always honest, especially when it came to Punk. McIntyre admitted he did not want to go back inside of Hell in a Cell. He's been in the cell before, and it's broken things inside of him that he still have not been fixed. McIntyre's family has begged him not to do this match, just like Punk's did. His sister and his wife. He says his entire family has told him not to do it. McIntyre's wife has begged him for months to get away from CM Punk because she could see what it was doing to him mentally. The fans started chanting, CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. He said it didn't matter what anyone thought because this match was happening at Bad Blood. McIntyre promised. He said he's heard Punk's promises, so he has a couple of promises himself. He promises to make Punk bleed a lot. Punk would suffer and feel more pain than he has ever felt in his entire life. It was appropriate that Punk compared himself to the devil because this was always about good versus evil. Punk compared himself to a supernatural being because he saw himself as a godlike figure, but he was just a man. A man that McIntyre has easily broken in the past, and a man he will break permanently inside Hell in a Cell. Really good promo here by Drew McIntyre. Don't think it was on the level of CM Punk's promo, and I think that's mainly because McIntyre has always been consistently good to great over the last couple of months, where CM Punk has been subpar and then finally stepped up to a real level last week. But what both promos accomplished is, like, for the first time, I would say, since all the way back when Mick Foley first Triple H back at No Way Out 2000, they're selling the gravity, the danger, the severity that is Hell in a Cell. They're building it up as the most dangerous match that any possible rivalry or two men can be involved in. And it feels like the first time in almost 25 years that Hell in a Cell feels like the biggest match possible for a feud to be blown off in. And they really are selling it. The seriousness in both of their voices, the determination and the passion in their eyes is selling this stipulation as a big deal. And thank you, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, for doing that. And this is the right place to bring back this stipulation with this rivalry. What did you think about Drew McIntyre's promo here?
Drew was great as always. And for all you kids that grew up as John Cena as your GOAT, and you guys don't know what Hell in a Cell is, it's just a big cage match to you guys. This match will restore the feeling. This match, I am sold. I am sold on it. It's going to be great when it's in the middle of the card. That's going to give Punk even more animosity that this wasn't the main event. How dare you not put me in the main event? Oh my God. I think this is going to be a really good match between these two. And like you said, Hell in a Cell, like when you hear that, it's supposed to be like, oh man, I don't want to go through this. This is going to change my career. What the Elimination Chamber used to be before they added all the padding and everything. Like this match is going to be vicious, and this match is going to be one of those that make you realize like why Hell in a Cell should only be brought out on special occasions, not because I fantasy booked I want a Hell in a Cell match, or oh, we have a pay-per-view coming up so we got to put these guys in a Hell in a Cell match. Like we suffered through how many of those horrible one-off Hell in a Cells or matches that aren't Hell in a Cell. Like I really like it. I think this is like you said, Mick Foley, Triple H, and I think it'll be on the level of Shawn Michaels and Triple H, Bad Blood too, where they were just funny how Triple H likes to book his own story.
Oh, that match is awful. I'm sorry, I'll say I think that match is awful.
Well,
47 minutes.
You didn't like the 47 minutes where they were just doing nothing for the first 20. Come on, man.
I hate that match. I think that's honestly like outside of like the awful ones of like the Fiend versus Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns, and a lot of like the 2010s when it was just on the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view just for the hell of it. That is probably like one of like before Hell in a Cell became just for a pay-per-view. That is one of the worst, where it was appropriate for it to be used to blow off Triple H and Shawn Michaels. It was appropriate for that rivalry. But the way Triple H, this was the first example for me of the Triple H over-elongated matches. That was the first hint that he was going to make a career for the next decade of matches that were way longer than it needed to be, like by 20 minutes.
Yeah, same with that. Same year, Last Man Standing, Royal Rumble. I've never seen a Last Stand Standing match where they did not use any weapons. They were just wrestling a regular ass fucking match. They didn't use a weapon until the steel steps, and I was like, "The fuck is this?" Yeah, no, the rivalry is there. Triple H loves booking himself. I feel like Triple H, he's just like he pretends all these wrestlers are him, and he's just like, "This is what I would have done in the storyline. This is what I would have done. This is like Shawn versus I." So. Yeah, but I'm excited now for this Hell in a Cell match. I was always excited for it, but I love that they're making it where the Hell in a Cell is a big deal. It's not just, well, John Cena and Randy Orton have been feuding for 3 months. We got to put him inside the cell, right? CM Punk needs a title rematch against The Undertaker? Hell in a Cell. Like, what?
Yeah.
Why didn't Hell in a Cell? It makes no sense.
Yeah, they're really building this up, and I feel like it's a damn shame this is not the main event. Like, what are we doing? Like, I understand Roman and Cody are the two biggest stars in the company. Don't get me wrong. I understand Cody Rhodes is from Atlanta, Georgia, but there is no bigger matchup on this card than Hell in a Cell between Punk and McIntyre.
I was going to ask, what about Orton and Cowboy Bob versus Undertaker? Did you like that one? I thought the build-up was good for that. I thought it deserved the Hell in a Cell. I liked it as a kid.
You're starting to feel like I'm doing the show with Roman now. But Orton and Taker was a good Hell in a Cell. It was better. It was better than Michaels and Triple H.
Yeah. Felt that feud deserved, because I'm trying to think of feuds that deserved it. There's no other feuds that deserved it. Like those are like in modern era, those are like the only 3 feuds that
Batista and Triple H. That was a great. That's like top 5 Hell in a Cell for me.
Yeah, that was good. I can't think of any other one.
Even like one of the most famous Hell in a Cell, Undertaker and Mankind. I went back recently and watched that. That shit was just announced on the week before the show.
Oh, that's true.
They weren't even feuding for that long. Like Taker was really building towards his matchup with Austin at SummerSlam, and they just randomly booked him and Mankind at King of the Ring.
I'll say that match, I know it has a lot of historical value. It's just Mick Foley falling off like 3 times. Like it's not that great of a match. It's just Mick Foley showing like why you shouldn't be doing stupid shit all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I saw Bell PW Insider saying that the main event isn't decided, but Fightful Select said that as of last week, Roman and Cody versus the Bloodline is the planned main event. That can always change. That could always change. A report can change, but I trust Fightful Select more than PW Insider.
Yeah, this would have to be the WrestleMania 39 situation where they just changed it last minute, where they were like set on Rhea versus Charlotte main eventing, and then they were like, "Oh, this tag match does have some heat, huh? Let's go with the tag team title." But I was convinced because ESPN was promoting John Cena and Austin Theory more than everything else. I was convinced Cena did his good old, "I'm main eventing. I'm coming back. I'm going to main event the show with Austin Theory." I was so in on it.
I pretty much say if they change their mind and do put Hell in a Cell in the main event, then Roman and Cody are kicking off the show because I know Roman Reigns. He's like, I either open or I close.
Yeah, Roman doesn't do Roman. The only card he'll do like the mid card act is WrestleMania. That's the only time he'll be okay with being in the middle of the show. But Bad Blood, he is not freaking going to be in the middle of the show. Like, but it's not an opening match. That's the problem. These matches are not. These like. Because normally it's like, okay, well, you have
gonna be 30. It's going to be 30 minutes. That tag match.
It's going to be the usual Roman Reigns epic. Roman talks shit, does his thing. There's going to be drama. Can Roman and Cody work together? You can't put all that in the opener. That's too much. Like, oh,
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Could have had Jey Uso versus Bron Breakker in the opener, but no, it's okay.
Couldn't do that. Can't do that. Can't put too much on the card, guys.
Yes.
5-match merchant. After Pierce made the announcement for Last Monster Standing, he runs off because he hears a commotion towards the back, and it's Sheamus was down on the floor with Pete Dunne choking him with a cricket bat. Dunne stopped upon seeing Pierce, but then he hits Sheamus right in the back, breaking the cricket bat over his back. As officials come in to separate Dunne from Sheamus, as he's yelling at him to "Don't call me that," saying "Don't call him Butch." He pissed off. He called him Butch earlier in the night. The feud continues.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to blow this off on TV like all the other feuds?
Yeah, it's going to be the cricket and Shillelagh on a pole match. Each
no, they got to do a good old fashioned Donnybrook match.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, this will be the feud ender. Will be the go home show on Crown Jewel. That'll be when the feud ends. And if Pete Dunne loses, we have to call him Butch. That'll be the stipulation. Vince is back, y'all. He's back. He's back with this segment. He's back with this segment. He said, "Look, they're gonna say mean things about me on this talk, things that are not true. I'm Vince, not Mr. McMahon. Two sides to every story. Please, just let me book this Pete Dunne. I love Butch."
Backstage, we get Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, approach Io Sky and Kairi Sane ahead of their matchup against the Unholy Union. Belair looked forward to facing Sky again, saying that people have been raving about their matchup last week, but she said that that's because the result would be different next time. Sky looked forward to it and said the next time they fought, it would be as teams and they would take back the tag team titles. And Cargill got very cocky and said that you got another thing coming because we always stand on business. And Sky and Kyrie were kind of just standing there like, no, we don't care what you say. And Cargill and Belair assured them the titles were not going anywhere. Was it just me, or did Belair and Cargill come off very heelish here?
Yeah, very, very bad. Like, I was fine with Bianca saying, "Hey, good match. I'll get you next time." Why did Jade need to talk? I didn't feel like Jade needed to talk. Like, I felt Io and Kyrie were like, "Oh, okay, segment's over," and then Jade said, "We stand on business," and then they're like, "Wait, you're still talking?" Like, I thought,
that made Bianca's next response come off heelish because she's standing next to Jade and she's agreeing with her. I was like, okay.
I didn't think Jade need to talk here. I felt that was just we can't just have Jade standing here. She can't be Diesel just standing here not doing anything. Like, she has to say something. And Io didn't even have a retort. She was just like, I'm looking at those titles. Like, she didn't say good match. We'll do it again next time. Like, okay. Kyrie saying, "Stop acting like you can't speak English, girl. I'm tired of this. You're lying."
Then we had Damage Control going up against the Unholy Union. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn to control early on after Sky was kind of showing off her athleticism, flip over the back. She tagged in Kyrie, who started looking very nice here. She did the sliding forearm in the corner. She did a nice little head scissors at another point, but her eye was taking the effect after Unholy Union attacked it, and then Alba Fire hit a nice little under Lope Suicida onto Sky. After the break, Sky made the hot tag and knocked down both women with a springboard drop kick. Don gave Sky a cheap shot, and Fire applied a cradle for a 2. Zane wiped out Fire on the outside with a big, insane elbow drop before Io Sky finished things off with the over the moonsault in the ring on, I believe that was Isla Dawn, for the 1-2-3. This was probably the most reaction we have gotten for a women's tag team matchup in months. Like, they are very much into the Sky Pirates, aka Damage Control, as a duo. I'd say you got to ride the hot hand because Io Sky's on fire right now. This was a good match. Last week's matchup was excellent with Bianca Belair. Let them go out there, give them 15 minutes, whether it be on TV, whether it be at Crown Jewel, and you put the titles on Io Sky and Kairi Sane right here because they really got momentum as a tag team right now. What did you think about this matchup with the Unholy Union?
Yeah, this was good. This was my first Alba, whatever their fucking names are, Unholy Union. My first Unholy Union match where I was like, oh, I actually care what they're doing. Like, the crowd didn't care when either of them came out. Like, no more of this Damage Control theme. It's terrible. Just do Tokyo Shock. Just do Kairi Sane's theme. It works fine. I mean, you call them a trio. Dakota Kai's out again. Who cares? Like, they can be called Damage Control. It's fine. I'm fine with it. But yeah, like, Io Sky, like, and Kairi Sane are actually getting a story for the tag team titles. Like, it's not like just, oh, we're this and that. Like, they're having a reasoning to go after Cargill and Bianca Belair. I would like if they won the tag team titles because I think they fit perfectly. If you want this tag team division to do well, they fit perfectly. They wrestle together well as a team. They're fun to watch in the ring. I feel like they can pull a good match with anyone that they wrestle. So why not? Like, because like with Jade and Bianca, like, Jade, you're so limited with what you can do with them as a tag team. Like, Bianca has to do 70% of the match, and then you do the Jade, oh, she's so awesome spots. But that gets boring after a while. Not everyone can work to that style. With Sky and Kairi Sane, I feel like you could, convince me that if you decide to put the women's tag team titles in the main event, I'd be like, at least the match will be good. It'll be 15 minutes. It'll be solid, right? Like, I don't know. I'm with you. I think they should pull the trigger on Crown Jewel, make it start. You got to start planting the seeds too. Jade and Bianca turning on each other because it just seems like was that Russell Bullets who reported it, or was there like actual rumor that they're working on mid-card titles? Like, they might be working on mid-card titles soon.
Yeah, I think either Russell Volts or PW Nexus, I think it was.
No,
that said
don't trust any of these guys. No, never mind. Don't trust any of them. I retract what I was about to say. I don't trust any of them. If you said PW Insider, I'd be good. You said PW Nexus. Like, what? Did they start last week? Did they just make up so one of my biggest regrets as a YouTuber, I used to be in a group called the Gurus of Greatness. And I said we should have just become like Meltzer, just report fake news and act like we're journalists. So we would have made so much fucking money and stuff like that doing that. And I would have not lied. I would have been making up half the shit I was saying if I was running that account. I would have no shame for the money. But no. Once you said PW Nexus, I had never heard of them. Like, they must have started like 2 months ago. There's no way.
Hey, they're the ones that first reported the Motor City Machine Guns to WWE.
Oh,
that's where they really got their name.
Shelley's friend? Is Alex Shelley's friend?
Maybe.
Alex Shelley told them, hey, I'm going to WWE. Oh, I'm making a dirt sheet site now, PW Nexus. But yeah, good. Yeah, maybe if those mid-card titles are a theme, good mid-card title match at Mania. Who knows? But yeah, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair. Gotta start planting the seeds of doubt eventually. So
yeah, I agree with you. There. And this is why, once again, I will say, I feel like I've been a broken record. They should have just kept the titles on Jade and Bianca. Imagine if they had like a 6-month reign at this point instead of 2-month reigns. Like they would be like the good champions because now you have a team that can beat them in Kairi Sane and Io Sky. That's why they should have just held the titles for 6 months and then had drop it to Damage Control at Crown Jewel. But I digress.
No, we needed to have that shock moment. Come on. I'll fire out Dawn.
Kathy Kelly is backstage with Intercontinental Champion Bron Breakker. Bron says that it was game day, which meant that the dogs were barking in Ontario. We hear the fans barking. It also meant that there would be a winner and a loser. The championship deserved the right superstar to carry it over their shoulder, and it wouldn't be Jey Uso. Somebody was getting their ass kicked, and it wasn't going to be him. Bron was willing to offer Jey another shot at the title down the road in a couple of months when he worked his way back up the ladder because Bron was going to be champion for a long time. And I was like, that's a bad omen. That's a bad omen. Whenever a heel champion says that, I was like, I don't think you're going to hold it that long.
Yeah, no, but that confirmed Jey Uso's winning for me because I was like Bron Breakker. You know, that's one of his biggest character flaws, overconfidence. He's overconfident in his abilities. Like, yes, you're a badass. Yes, you're one of the scariest men on the rosters, but you're just so overconfident for no reason. And I knew he was losing after this promo. He said he was going to hold it forever. Yeah, 6 weeks isn't forever, buddy.
We did get a quick teaser video of a fiery logo that said PRF. With the voiceover saying that fate is woven. So I've heard online people think that this is either the first vignette for Rey Fenix, RF, and Penta, P, or it is for the Raid Pilgrim fight, which is for the return of the Viking Raiders. What do you think?
Viking Raiders, as someone who has played too much Assassin's Creed, and I know these little Norse things. That's a Viking Raiders thing. They're not going to do that for. They're still under contract. What do people don't understand? AEW still has them under contract. This would be WWE. They do stupid things. There's no way WWE would start making vignettes for people they don't have. That makes no fucking sense. And if they did start making vignettes for people they don't have, then guess what? Guess what's going to happen? Tony Khan will call his lawyer, and they will automatically send some cease and desist type of shit. Like,
no, you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna add that year that he can't add to Rey Fenix contract. He was like, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm adding a year. They wanna promote you when you're not even under contract.
Yeah. How does a year being with the Los Ignorables sound to you, Rey Fenix? You could be with Rush and Dralistico. That sounds like a great job. Like, yeah, no, like people need to stop. This was for, and then also too, why would they promote a tag team that only a select few people know on a Raw right now? Like, no, like I get it that the Lucha Bros said they want main roster right away. Well, you better learn some good old NXT brothers. You got to learn how to work that WWE hard cam for a bit. So don't worry, you'll have a great tag team match with Fraction. Oh, by the way, did you see Nathan Frazier go full Seth Rollins on Twitter? This guy has learned everything from Rollins. I see why Rollins likes him. That was like
WWE flag in the ground.
That was the most Seth Rollins scene ever, where Seth Rollins had checked the bank account. I was like, oh, he's learned well. He's learned well from Seth. Seth's like, if they ever question what's going on, stand up for us.
Stand up for WWE. Power Drive finisher, they did not do that. He says they did that thing with Jada Parker when they didn't have Julia. They've had Julia since March.
Yeah.
Like they did the whole thing with Jada Parker when they already had Julia signed. She's already been signed. Just because she didn't debut until September doesn't mean that she wasn't signed for 5 months before then.
Yeah, she was just finishing up her commitments. Like unlike Stephanie Vaquer, Julia was like, I'll finish up my commitments. Stephanie Vaquer was like, you're paying me a bunch of money not to do shit, and I don't have to take these bumps. I'm good, sister. I ain't doing that. Good. So
you know what? I can't make those bookings, CMLL.
Yeah. Ring's kind of rough. Sorry.
So my question to you now, before we talk about this next segment, does WWE really believe that people some people don't watch SmackDown and do watch Raw, or that do they not realize that the same people that watch Raw do also watch SmackDown? Because we got the entire Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns segment from SmackDown on this show. I was like, dude, I've seen this. Like, I fast forward through this shit on rewatching it this morning. I was like, what was the point of that? It is official. That match is going on. Any thoughts on this SmackDown segment in full on Monday night? Not even like that. They usually give us like SmackDown highlights of a big segment, but not the entire segment. They are really proud of this.
I think it's yes to your first portion where you say, I think WWE truly believes there's people who only watch Raw and who only watch SmackDown. They think some people don't watch SmackDown for whatever reason. Like, I truly believe that. But also, this is WWE because they're so proud of this. They're so happy. The reception on this online has been both positive and negative. It's gotten a lot of views. There's a lot of talk about. They just want to show this off. They're so proud of what they directed here. This is, from a cinematography standpoint, one of the best pieces that they've directed. Some of the dialogue was kind of cheesy. It felt like I was watching like a fancy version of Degrassi of them on the football field. I was like, oh man, this is great. And stuff.
It felt like Homecoming.
Yeah, Homecoming. Yeah, it felt really good. I like the cinematography. The dialogue is hit or miss for me, but I did love Roman Reigns' final line. You're in my way.
You're in my way. You're in my way
in life. I was like, oh my God. Like, because I thought it was too extra when Cody cuts him off. Like, oh, let me cut you off right here, and then I have to have the final word. That was too extra. The music was perfect. I love the cheesy CW music. I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm watching Gossip Girl again. Sick.
I am the star.
I was like, will Blair be able to get back with Serena? XOXO, Gossip Girl. Like, I was like, oh man, I'm waiting. I'm ready. Can Roman Reigns and can R work with C at this next PLE against the BL? Find out next time. XOXO, Gossip Girl.
It felt like Lucas Scott and Nathan Scott on One Tree Hill meeting on the river court.
I loved the cinematography, like I said, was fucking fantastic, but the dialogue, that's where I was just like, oh, you could have done this in the ring. That was more of like the dialogue was meant for inside the ring with the crowd, so that way the crowd go, oh, and then but everything else leading up to it was very, very, very beautiful shot. I love the shooting of it. That's what I'll say. But yeah.
I felt Roman was stronger in this setting than Cody was. Cody very much, everything Cody said was very much for like, this would have probably played off better in the ring, but Roman knows how to play his character in that type of setting a little bit better.
Yeah, you can tell Roman just shot a movie. You know, his acting chops were on to point. He was like, yeah, I just got done doing a movie with Keke Palmer. Like, who cares?
It's like, no sweat.
Yeah.
Next up, we had the New Day going up against American Maids, Julius and Brutus Creed. The Woods wore his black attire while Kingston wore their green attire once again. American Made came out with Chad Gable and Ivy Now in their corner. They had a back and forth first 5 minutes. New Day working well together. Julius Creed gave Kingston a superplex while Woods gave Brutus Creed a superplex at the same time before going to commercial. We came back from break with the Creeds seemed to get the heat during the break, although we never saw any replay of them doing that. And then immediately, just like last week's tag match, Woods made the hot tag, but the ref didn't see it this time as Gable distracted the referee. He forced Kingston back onto the apron, and as the Creeds double team Woods in the ring, Woods would make his comeback, eventually hitting a big missile drop kick. He made the hot tag to Kingston, who came in on Julius Creed, hitting big chops. Kingston wiped out the Creeds with a big trust fall dive to the outside and then hit Julius Creed with a flying crossbody in the ring for a 2 count. Julius ducked Trouble in Paradise, but Kingston countered his counter and finally hit it anyway. But then Woods called for the tag. Kingston unsure, but he was like, hey, you're calling the shots, tagged him in. He wiped out Brutus with a flip dive. Woods went to the top rope for his finisher, but Gable distracted him. He yanked in Gable into the ring and lost his cool, stomping angrily at Gable with him distracted. Woods finally stopped, and then Julius clocked him with a big knee. Kingston tried to assist, but Julius knocked him out of the ring. And then they hit a Doomsday Brutus ball for the 1-2-3. American made, picking up the victory here. And this one, I can officially say, this was definitely Woods' own fault. Woods distracted the referee with bringing Gable into the ring, costing him the victory here. And then afterwards, we would go backstage where Woods and Kingston were backstage and seemed to be still on the same page with one another when Rey Mysterio and the LWO approached. Rey apologized for what happened last week, but Woods dismissed him. Rey knew that they could get through this because they were the New Day. Woods says that this type of advice would be better suited for his son, Dominic. I was like, oh, okay, you little snappy. Rey says that he didn't have time for this because he had to deal with Finn Balor next week, and Woods was offended that Rey thought that Balor was more important than him because he's a former world champion and Rey's a former world champion and Kingston's a former world champion while he wasn't. Kingston tried to calm him down, but he wouldn't hear any of it. Rey had enough and said that Balor could wait. He challenged Woods to a match next week, and he accepted. LWO left. Kingston understandably didn't understand why Woods was so upset, but of course Woods thought that he was in the right, as it would be Xavier Woods going one-on-one with Rey Mysterio next week. And then it was also announced that Kofi Kingston will be in singles competition as he goes one-on-one with Chad Gable. What did you think about this matchup with American Made versus the New Day? I thought this was a good, fun matchup here with American Made kind of getting back on the winning ways after the rivalry with the Wyatt Six, where they absolutely washed them. And it continues the whole story with Woods and Kingston, which, like I said, it's my favorite thing going on Monday Night Raw. What did you think?
Yeah, tag match was good. It happened at a good time for me. I liked it. I liked it a lot. And then I love the Xavier Woods stuff. Like Woods, overthought, try to get Chad Gable in the ring, cost himself the match, but he's not taking accountability because he hasn't done anything wrong the whole time. And then just snapping backstage. He finally was just so like Rey Mysterio. Who the fuck are you coming over here trying to give fatherly advice? Like who the fuck are you, buddy? Like, come on. And I like the reasoning of Woods snapping. He's like, oh, because Finn's more important. He's a former world champion. I'm not. So I'm not that important, but you're a former world champion, because it leads back to, Karrion Kross talking about the whole single. So I guess Kross has a purpose. Yeah. He sold Xavier Woods.
He's tapped into this insecurity that Woods has.
Yeah, he sold him the 2003 Honda Civic. Good job, Karrion. Got to get those sales up, bud. But yeah, I liked it. And then especially, getting mad at Kofi. And I like that Rey was just like, you know what? Finn pisses me off, but you just pissed me off right here. We're wrestling next week. And that's a fresh matchup. I can't even remember Rey Mysterio versus Xavier Woods. And it should be a fine matchup. It'll probably only get like 10 minutes, maybe 8 if we're lucky. But I like it. I like what they did. Woods really did a good job acting here. Like you said, it's the best storyline going on, like Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. And we'll see how far they can keep it going. Obviously Triple H, he probably has this destiny at WrestleMania. I don't know if the juice is there to WrestleMania, but we can see.
We shall see. We shall see for sure. We do have another super chat donation. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the love. He says, got to head back to work, but thanks for the knowledge. Appreciate you, Chuck Berry. Thank you so much for the super chat donation this week. And we're always here to give you the knowledge. Join us back tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. Eastern time, when we preview NJPW Destruction in Kobe. And we'll give you some more knowledge as always. Finally, before we got to there was a couple of backstage or pre-tape vignettes before we got to the main event. First, we got Damian Priest. He says, growing up, there was a saying Priest liked to use, am I my brother's keeper? On the streets, they knew better because someone was always willing to take what you had. Life can take you to some unexpected places, and life brought him to the Judgment Day, a crew that became a family. a family that gave him a brother to keep, Finn Balor. They talked about running WWE, and that's exactly what they did. But Balor always wanted it to be about him. When Rhea Ripley became the Women's World Champion, Priest was happy, but Balor was envious. Priest became world heavyweight champion himself, and Balor had that same look of envy, despite when the camera was on, he was his biggest supporter. Priest should have seen it coming. Balor was not his brother, and Priest would rip his heart out at Bad Blood. His final line was in Spanish. I didn't get the explanation, and this is why Romeo should have been on the show, because he could have told us what that was. But good promo by Damian Priest, who's really grown into his own on the mic for sure.
Oh yeah, I like Priest. Priest is good.
Then we get Uncle Howdy and the YS6 with a VHS tape with the following words shown: "I am but dust, a worm, a rebel. You cast your light of constantness upon me, and said, I shall live. The words of the red, you speak, we follow." And a QR code led them into the next one. Apparently, if you went to the QR code, it showed a face that was similar to Alexa Bliss's video package. So once again, like I said earlier in the show, we had the Lily doll in the background. Now we get something referring to Alexa Bliss. You might be getting what you said weeks ago, Chase. Alexa Bliss joining the Y6.
Cool. Awesome.
Chase is over this shit.
Oogly boogly. Here you go. Cool. Let's talk about the main event. I know. I'm good. What is this?
I love it.
Look, I like my anime. This is some anime shit on my Monday Night Raw. I don't want this. Like, I watch anime for its own reasons. I watch WWE for its own reasons. I don't need this Jordan Peele wannabe horror shit on my TV. Like, if you want Jordan Peele, just get Jordan Peele WWE. I'm sure you have the money for it.
And the worst of the bunch of the pre-tape things we saw, even worse than the Y6. We got Pure Fusion Collective. They say they are the future of the women's division. And if you want to step up, shoot your shot.
Oh, shoot your shot. Those chambers are empty. You ain't shooting anything, man. The worst you guys gonna shoot is a super soaker. Just a bunch of little waters coming out, man. Yeah, little 99-cent store shooters right there. Oh my God, these guys. You guys lost to Natalia. Give it up.
Before the main event, we saw Sami Zayn approach Jey Uso. Zayn said that the Intercontinental Champion meant the world to him, and he wanted Jey to make it his tonight. They did their handshake, and Jey was even more motivated to win in the main event. Jey Uso started his entrance on the concourse, surrounded by the fans. The camera followed him through as he entered through the crowd, the Ontario, California crowd, obviously in his corner as he challenges Bron Breakker for the Intercontinental Championship. Jey hit a tope suicida, which led to our first commercial break, only 90 seconds into the matchup. Wade Barrett let us know that Jey was dominating from the get-go, but Braun hit a big power slam after the break to take control. Braun whipped Jey into the corner and hit an overhead suplex. They took turns trying a vertical suplex before Braun dropped Jey over the top rope. Braun hit a backbreaker and let go of his cover to do the Scott Steiner push-up, showing his overconfidence against Jey. He taunted Jey, who came back with a kick. He tried for another tope suicida, but Braun knocked him down. Braun smashed his head against the announce table and then hit his leaping lariat off of the apron to the table, knocking Jey across the table. Jey came back with some strikes to the sound of yeet before hitting a running hip attack. Braun avoided a splash and hit a big gut buster. Started hitting down on him after Jey kicked out. Jey came back with a pop-up Samoan drop for it too, but then Braun caught him on the top rope, hits a Frankensteiner, which is always the leap up Frankensteiner he does is always beautiful stuff. That got the "This is awesome" chants from the crowd as Jey kicked out. Braun got the better of a strike exchange between the two men and then hit his power slam, his gorilla press into the power slam for a 2. Jey slipped out of the ring. Braun went around the ring and hit a running spear. Braun dropped his straps and went for another spear in the ring, but Jey was able to catch him with a spear of his own. He goes to the top rope, hits the Uso splash, 1, 2, but Braun is able to kick out for a great near fall. The crowd started chanting, "Ref, you suck" at that point. Braun basically no-sells all of that. Jey is selling at the time, so Braun goes around the ring. He tries for another spear on the outside, but Jey is able to cut him off with a super kick. He then follows up with a big spear through the barricade, totally exploding the barricade in the ring. Jey puts him back into the ring and hits another spear, the third of the matchup. He goes to the top rope, hits a second Uso splash. 1, 2, 3. The crowd in Ontario, California explodes as Jey Uso has finally done it. He wins his first singles title in WWE. He is our new Intercontinental Champion. The crowd is going absolutely crazy. What a pop for this title change here. Fireworks went off as Jey goes into the crowd and celebrates with the fans. This was a terrific main event matchup. Probably the most heated and passionate Jey Uso has been in the ring this entire year. This is probably one of his best singles matches since becoming a single star. Bron Breakker was an excellent foe, which he has a one character flaw. Whenever he is overconfident against somebody, he's going to lose. I know some people are going to be upset, and a little bit of me is too, because I am a Bron Breakker fan. I think it was too soon for him to lose. But when you book this matchup, this seems like this was the only result. When you build the story around Jey never winning a singles title, always coming up short, the 6 previous times, which was 3 matches against Roman Reigns, 1 against Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, 1 against Austin Theory for the U.S. Championship, and 1 time against Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship, and Jey is 0-6 in these singles opportunities. This one had to be the match for him to get the win, especially in the main event, especially in his home state of California. This was near perfection as far as how this was all done and the presentation of it all. And congratulations to Jey Uso. What did you think?
Yeah, terrific main event. And especially, you had the Netflix people in the front row. You want to show Netflix, hey, this is the atmosphere WWE brings week in and week out. This is the unpredictability of Monday Night Raw. Here's Jey Uso. No one thought he was going to win this match against Bron Breakker. And this is what I grew up watching. And I saw some people, they're so upset about this. And I'm like, guys, you're acting like this is Eric Young randomly winning the TNA title for no reason, just because Bryan Danielson did it 2 weeks before. Like, you're acting like this is a bad title change. Like, did I want Bron Breakker to have a long Intercontinental title run? Absolutely. But there's at least a story of Jey Uso never winning the big one or never winning that big singles title. And then they built up the Bron Breakker. They built this up with the Sami Zayn feud where when he's overconfident, he ends up losing. And this is a character flaw. And I'm sorry, I like when actually wrestlers, I get it. We love the wrestlers that are super dominant and everything. I like when wrestlers have flaws. That's why Cena never connected in the later portion of his career. Like, never had any flaws. It would be, he would lose, act like it was the end of the world, and then just win the title back. It was like, oh, okay, like, what are we talking? Like, the worst thing ever is when Cena lost to The Rock. They said it was the worst year of his career. What the fuck are you talking about? This motherfucker was going for the world title. How is this the worst year of his career after losing to The Rock? Like, I like that they're building up a flaw to Bron Breakker. I like that they protected Bron Breakker's spear. He didn't. The spear was not hit clean at all in the ring. They're protecting that spear because if that would have hit, it would have been game over. This and if people wondering why did they get Joe Tessitore? Joe Tessitore earned his paycheck in this match when they were going. When they were going back and forth with those punches. I felt like I was watching a big time boxing match when the boxers are just going out. I was just like, "This is why you pay Tessitore the big bucks. This is why WWE said we need Joe Tessitore on our brand of great announcers." Like, he absolutely killed it in this match, and that near fall. I didn't. That's my second favorite near fall this year. The first is obviously the house call to Bryan Danielson, and then Danielson kicks out, and then I was like, oh, thank God! Like I was just like, oh, thank God. This was my second. When Jey hit that, I thought, no way he's gonna win. When that did not hit 3, I was like, oh my! And you saw the fans; they were just like,
yeah, the fan in the front row, like
deflated.
He's not gonna do it.
Yeah, and then when he hits it, that pop was even bigger. Like I'm happy that Jey Uso won. Like Bron Breakker's still young, and they've established him as a rookie. He's going to make mistakes. Like this does not ruin Bron Breakker. If anything, we might now even get a more pissed off Bron Breakker, a Bron Breakker that's not going to be. And who knows? Maybe they're leaning towards, hey, this guy's getting over with the dog thing. Might as well take advantage. Maybe they're leaning towards more of a Bron Breakker babyface, or maybe there's no one that can stop Bronson Reed. I don't know. He may be facing another Braun. He's facing another Braun. He can't. He just feels with all the B's in the roster. He feels with all the Brons. The winner gets the Braun name. Who knows? But yeah, no, I was happy that Jey Uso won. I wasn't like pissed. Like this was a situation. Both guys winning was okay with me. Jey Uso loses. He just goes. He's still over. Goes back down on the card. Maybe you get the moment at WrestleMania of him winning a singles title, like not the world title, obviously, like USIC, who one of those belts, but maybe he can win the Speed Championship. Who knows? That Andrade has it. It's prestigious. Hasn't lost it yet.
But yeah, great matchup. That's the big thing, that he did it, and it did it in a great matchup, and that's what he needed. That's what he needed, because that's been the one thing against him is his bell to bell work. Like he's great. He gets a great response from the fans. The fans have been into him, but when he's had the big opportunities, whether it be against Jimmy Uso at WrestleMania, whether it be his match against Priest at Backlash, they haven't been great matches.
No.
And the match with Jimmy Uso is arguably one of the worst WWE matches of the year. So he needed this. He needed this badly. The win and the great match. So he checked both of the boxes.
Yeah, because as you're a champion, you got to wrestle at that quality level. And if you can't wrestle at that quality level, like Jey Uso is perfect for like, okay, we just need him to go out there, beat someone real quick. That's fine. But yeah, bell to bell, you need to wrestle. And I don't know, maybe Bron Breakker's just really good. Who knows? Maybe this was an anomaly because Bron Breakker's just really good. We'll have to wait. That's the main thing from this. We have to wait and see how Jey works as IC champion. Who knows? Maybe he just loses it next week anyways. Like
I think this is going to be a short reign. I think it's going to be a short reign. I think they put it back on Braun sooner rather than later.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. Watch this last till WrestleMania, and we're just fucking Raw, and we're just sitting here like, why is he still IC champ?
Like, oh
why is he still IC champ?
Yes,
put him with Kaiser. I want to see him and Kaiser. I want to see him and Kaiser wrestle. Let's see if Jey Uso's really about that. Let's see him and Kaiser have a good match.
Wouldn't mind that at all. But let us know your overall thoughts on this week's Monday Night Raw. And of course, how we always do, final call for Super Chat donations. Thank you to everyone who sent a Super Chat donation already. We got to make Romeo feel bad more. So send one more before we hit the road. But let us know your match of the night, your MVP, your LVP, your thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and out of 10, what did you give the show? For me and Chase for the September 23rd, 2024 edition of Monday Night Raw in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up across the board from both of us. I'm going to give this week's episode a 7.5 out of 10. What about you?
I'll go with the 8 out of 10. I felt most of the matches delivered, and obviously I'm a sap for big endings with crowds popping and stuff. Yeah. So like that really bumped it up for me. I love when there's a hot crowd and they just want something. And when any wrestling company, when they give them that something, it automatically bumps the show up for me. I'm like, oh, you just listen to the fans. I love it and stuff. That's why All In's my favorite AEW pay-per-view this year, because I'm like, oh, they gave Bryan Danielson the title. But Chase, Revolution, yeah, that's also my second favorite, because they gave Sting the title. They gave Sting
the win on the way out.
Yeah,
that's 1 and 2 for me. As far as like my 3 favorite shows of the year is Revolution, because Sting won at the end. All In, because Bryan won at the end, and WrestleMania Night 2, because Cody won at the end.
Yeah,
you gave the crowd the happy ending.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for that. I am a complete sucker for that. Like even at WrestleMania 39, even though I was cheering for my tribal chief, if Cody would have won, I would have been like, oh, that was pretty cool though. I got to be there for that big pop, even though I would have been upset in my Olafal gear and my ones and the Roman Reigns glove. I would have been upset, but yeah, it happens. Yeah, no, I'm a sucker for that. It's easy. Wrestling companies just do that. I'm in. Doesn't matter. The whole show could suck, and I'll be like, that was amazing.
I think that I was at like a solid 7, and the main event bumped it up to a 7.5. I just think that most of the segments were good, but I didn't think that they were placed in the right spots. Like like I said, that second hour start was just weird to me. You're starting off with a Miz match and a backstage promo. Like, you need to hit us hard with something. Like, I didn't think, and the Drew McIntyre promo, which was really good to great to a lot of us, that should have been at the start of the second hour or the start of the third hour instead of like in the middle. Like, I just think that the placement of segments wasn't really well done. Unlike last week, like I agree with Bell. Last week was a better show to me, and I think I gave that like an 8.5 or an 8. So that's why I said like this is a 7.5. But I understand the people that are giving it an 8 based on the main event.
The main event carried it for me for sure.
Match of the night, main event.
Yeah, easily. There's like Kaiser and Sammy can argue, but the main event, like, if Braun wins, then I would probably say Kaiser and Sammy. But Braun didn't win, so I'm going with the main event.
And what was your MVP for the show?
I'm going to go with Xavier Woods. I felt his character work was so good on this show. Like, I know he lost his match kayfabe wise, but he was so good this night when it comes. Like, Jay, obviously, people are going to give him the MVP for winning his first singles title, but I really enjoyed Xavier Woods tonight.
I thought Xavier Woods was really good, but I got to give it to Jey Uso. Jey Uso, MVP of the show. LVP of the show, yes, I thought he was good, but he did cost his team the matchup. So, I mean, I think it might be Xavier Woods.
Oh, not my dog.
No. You know, I'm going to give it to The Miz because he was an absolute non-factor in his own match. He just took one tope suicida and got the hell up out of there. So Miz and PFC, Pure Fusion Collective, because that promo was trash.
Yeah, the LVP SmackDown, because obviously no one watches it. So we had to show a SmackDown segment. So that's my LVP. Poor SmackDown. They couldn't. And, Romeo also gets LVP, saying he was going to be here, saying he would not miss this, and he overslept. So I'm sorry, Romeo. I love you. You're my brother. Gotta give you an LVP. But yeah, no, SmackDown for sure is the LVP. Like, why are we showing a SmackDown segment? Like, I understand you want to showcase this is not even the go home show. Like, if this is the go home show, I would have been like, oh, okay, that's fine. You want to show off this segment? No, we're still 2 weeks away. Like, what are we doing? So yeah, LVP SmackDown.
Fair. Thank you once again, Chase, for joining me this week. You have your day off next week, so hopefully Romeo does show up to work, or I have to send out the tweet to the open call, the open invite to anyone to join me. But Chase, let everybody know where they can follow you on social media, when they will see you on the YouTube screens again.
Yeah, you guys can follow me on X at ChaseOliver68. I don't know when I'm going to be on YouTube next. That's the thing. I know Stack and I are going to film something for True Heat Sports and Entertainment. I was going to promote this, but then I forgot Bad Blood's next week. But next weekend for the Bad Blood watch along, we're going to be playing Chase Bingo. So what Chase Bingo is, Romeo will give out the bingo cards. All the phrases that I say will get you bingo. And if you're the first person to get bingo, you'll win $50. But if I survive the whole 3-hour stream without saying any of my phrases or finding a way not to get bingo, then I get $50 from Steve. So this is a beautiful thing. It's a fun game. So we'll see how I'll win this one. I have to be creative. I'll have to be creative, but we're going to play Chase Bingo on the Bad Blood watch along just to make it fun. 5 matches during those promos. I like to say wild shit. So
yeah. I think you'll have a bunch of time between the promos and everything. And yes, Chase will be joining me for our Mr. McMahon Netflix documentary review. We'll figure out the time and place, maybe next Wednesday, next Friday. We have probably next Friday. I will tentatively say next Friday, because I think next Wednesday we'll do our Bad Blood preview here on the channel. So stay tuned for that. We'll keep you posted as the week goes on. You can follow me on social media at TrueHillSB3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, at True Heel Heat, patreon.com/True Heel Heat, $3 a month. Gets you exclusive content and the best place to support us when we are not live here. And check out all the great content we got on the channel, Collision Discourse from yesterday, as well as the True Heel Heat flagship podcast. I will be live here tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time, with J News for our NJPW Destruction in Kobe preview for that show. And we will be back on Monday for the review of Destruction in Kobe as well. So some New Japan coverage coming up throughout the week as well. But for Chase, it is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3. This has been Rated Raw Review number 36. Go ahead and yeet for the September 23rd, 2024 edition of Monday Night Raw. We are signing off until next time.